Hi, I'm Phil Hearn, and in this video I'll be discussing what I consider to be the single most important thing you should consider when choosing a scripted tabulation software package. By this I mean a tabulation package to be used by DP professionals for producing tables for market research typically, or other associated businesses. Now, when choosing software, normally what you first consider is, what can the software do? Does it have all the tools I need? And possibly in the case of something like a tabulation piece of software or something that's doing a lot of processing, how long does it take to run it? Now, the main products that in this market, and the three market leaders, are probably Quantum, MRDCL and Merlin. Can you differentiate between those three in terms of what they can actually achieve in terms of different types of tables? Well, no, it's very hard to. They all do pretty much everything you'll want to do and have all the tools you need to produce different types of tables. How fast do they run? They all run at very comparative speeds. We've found that MRDCL wins in many cases, but it really is quite a minimal difference. A run that might take 4 minutes in one piece of software might take 4 minutes and 10 seconds in another. So that's not really any discernible benefit. So if it's not the what they can do, because all these products do everything, it's maybe how they do it. Now, Quantum's a bit different from Merlin and MRDCL in that it's an unsupported piece of software now that hasn't been developed for 20 years. So that has some problems in terms of running under Windows, for example. MRDC and Merlin come from the same stable. They were originally called Sage, and both have very good tools for actually carrying out all the data handling and variables you want and the tabulations that you need. So how does MRDCL offer benefit over these other products? Well, it's a technique that it has. The technique is called EPS, which stands for Excel Productivity Scripting. It encapsulates the way that MRDC has worked as a company. Our focus for the last 10 years has been on developing software that improves productivity. We want things to be done more quickly and, perhaps more importantly, more accurately, to save you time and to be de-skilled so that less trained staff can do some of the work. So how does it do this? Well, let's imagine something that happens on every single market research questionnaire, or most market research questionnaires. Rating scales. Let's use that as an example. Most questionnaires have one or more rating scales, some have many. The tables we do from those rating scales may be in different forms. I worked with a client recently and I think they come up with 15 or 16 different types of tables that they generated. So there might be a table required for some rating scales which has one table for every statement in the rating scale by a standard banner. You might want another table where you have all the statements side by side, another table where they're underneath each other, another one where they just show the mean scores by a standard banner, another one where perhaps those mean scores are ranked. You may want a top two box, and a bottom two box. And as you can see, the permutations grow quite quickly and you soon get to 15, 16, maybe 20 different types of tables that you want. Now, scripting those tables in any of the three languages I mentioned takes time. Getting it right takes time. And it tends to be fairly laborious script and code that's needed to do that. Now, MRDCL's EPS technique offers you a different way of doing it. Having set up your template, you can then reuse that template either within the same project as many times as you want to, or from project to project, with colleagues sharing the benefits of the quick way of doing things. And so that template might be something like putting the rating scale name, maybe question 5, in column A of the worksheet, and then checking off which particular tables are wanted for that particular rating scale. So for question 5, you might choose each statement by a standard banner and a mean score summary. Whereas for another rating scale, question 9, for example, you might choose to have a top two box and a mean score summarized, and perhaps a summary of all the statements side by side. What it also means is that that's very visible what's been selected. Anybody can look at that worksheet and see what's been selected. And if a researcher or client comes back and says, I'd like an additional type of table, it really is as simple as just typing in an X or some other keyword that will tell the template to produce the particular table that's required. So it offers a very easy way of making things more productive and making it easier to work on projects. How much time does it save? Our clients tell us that the gains are usually somewhere to a minimum of 30% in terms of the time that's taken. So a project carried out using EPS will be carried out in 70% of the time that it might be for other pieces of software, or if you've done it in MRDCL without using the EPS technique. But it can get much higher than that. We often find that clients are talking about 80% or 70% productivity gains. These are serious gains, and of course are saving you substantial sums of money. And it's doing it by having templates that are easy to use, can be used by less skilled staff. Are there other applications where you can use this? Well, there are numerous, and indeed we have some examples that we can send out to you. One of these might be handling code frames and subtotals, something that's quite laborious to set up and do, but nonetheless easy. So EPS is a technique that works really well when you've got something that's repetitive, laborious or complex. We've worked on projects with clients or help clients where they have very big make model lists that get summarized in a number of tables, and to do that and control that from a worksheet that automates all the tables that come out the back of that is a very efficient way of working. It means that all you update is your spreadsheet and you don't change any script whatsoever. And that's the real beauty of this technique, that you do all your thinking up front, get your project working. Once it's working, and particularly beneficial on tracking studies, once it's working, you can then just update the spreadsheet and your analysis will automate from that.